Okay, so I'm
Here we
from
go.
George, and I'm from Brush, Colorado, but I moved to Kearney when I was 3, and I lived here for 10 years, and then I moved back to Brush in middle school. So that was rough because I am kind of shy, and like when I moved back to Brush, I knew them from when I was little, but didn't know them. And so my first day of middle school there, I got shoved in a locker and locked in for 30 minutes because they couldn't get it unlocked. And so while I was growing up and like didn't have friends, I just resorted to sports. I did gymnastics, dance, basketball, soccer, softball, volleyball, dive team, track, swim team, you name it, I probably played it. And so on the bottom are like my younger years of playing with like my Kearney teams, and then the top is high school. And so one thing about me is I have joint hypermobility, which I didn't get diagnosed with until I was 13. So while I was doing gymnastics and all these sports, I was stretching my joints more so they would dislocate and break. And so because I didn't know until I was older, I didn't do the right strengthening. So I have over 20 injuries. And that leads into like sports. I was supposed to go to Northeastern State, Oklahoma, in Tahlequah, Oklahoma to play soccer. But I have 4 torn ligaments in my ankle right now and didn't get it repaired. And either way, I wouldn't have been able to play. So then with that like adversity, I've had 8 friends die within 4 years. And then in the meantime, I had my grandpa and like a mentor. So right here, I'm bad with lasers, but right here, that he was like my brother. He was my first best friend when I moved to Brush, Colorado. And I just grew up with him. His family's my family, still is. He was killed in a motorcycle accident. He had a helmet on and everything. He was going back to base camp in San Diego and came around the corner, and the bike slipped on something and slipped out from under him, and he flew under a vehicle. And so that was probably the hardest death that I've had to face because I had to call all of his like friends and like deliver the news to them, so that was difficult. And then right there in the middle of us 2 girls, that's my best friend's brother, and he was actually gonna be Randy's recruit for the Marines and died 3 months to the day of Randy's death. He was involved in a car accident and the same thing happened. He rolled over. He walked away from the accident, but he was so confused that he walked into oncoming traffic on the interstate and was hit by a vehicle. And that was also hard, just knowing that the connection between them, and I had to console my best friend, and we had to pronounce or like name the body because her parents were out of state. So then that leads into, so my whole life I was asked like what's one thing to just define my life, one word, and I always said adversity, but like adversity is like a difficulty, so I thought the difficulties that I went through defined my life. And so when I lost all my friends, I shut down, and I just didn't want to become friends with anybody. I didn't talk to anybody because I thought that if I like became friends with people, I would just lose them again. So that was hard. And that's when I was introduced to Blue Horizons and Cowboy Up, which are 2 equine therapy facilities that offer, so Cowboy Up is an equine facility that offers therapy for like children with physical disability, and then Blue Horizons offers the therapy for children with mental disabilities. And I've always had a passion for working with special education children. I volunteered in my mom's classroom, and I've always had a passion for horses, so that was my like escape. I could connect with the horses, the children. I didn't have to talk about anything. And that's where I met Don Dillahay, who was like my mentor, and he passed away a year later. So I took on his role with his wife, Christy Dillahay, and we kind of ran the thing together for 2 years, and that's what brought me to here because they have the 5-year occupational therapy program. So I would like to get my occupational therapy degree and then get a minor in nonprofit business and open my own equine facility for nonprofit, like low income families, just to help give back. And so now that that I used to define my life as adversity, because I've grown and gone through and accepted everything, when asked the same question, I would now say that my life is based on resilience and not adversity, because if I wasn't resilient and didn't get through what I was going through, I wouldn't be here, standing right here today.